In this video I will do a review of game week 6, and we start with the goalkeeper. Now the goalkeeper only had 2 points on Raya, but I have to say that from the 20 teams who played this weekend in the Premier League, only one keeper had a clean sheet, and the goalkeeper was Roefs from Sunderland. Only the goalkeeper from Sunderland, Roefs, had a clean sheet. He was the only goalkeeper with a clean sheet. 19 teams scored a goal, 1 goal or more. So having no points, 2 points, only 2 points for Raya is not a big deal. I think only Roefs did better. And probably Kelleher, because he stopped a penalty from Fernandes. But it was a very difficult game week for the goalkeepers. Only 1 clean sheet, 2 points. But Raya is a long-term pick. I used my wildcard and I put him into my team. He is a long-term pick. Because I think that Arsenal is probably the best defense in England. So having a defender or a goalkeeper from Arsenal in your team is not a bad idea. Long term he will do very, very well. In defense it was also very difficult for defenders. Only 1 clean sheet means, only the defenders from Sunderland get the clean sheet. Now Senesi had 7 points. Why? He didn't have a clean sheet, but again he had 2 points from defensive contributions, but he also had an assist. He had an assist, 2 points from defensive contributions, and 1 bonus point. In total he gets 7 points. Again, Senesi is doing very well, and the price I think is already 4.9 now. I think I bought him at 4.5. He's now already in a few weeks to 4.9. But again he had the defensive contributions, and he is the only defender now who get maximum points from defensive contributions, because Tarkowski had 1 point. It was the first time he didn't have 2 points from defensive contributions. He made 7 defensive contributions, but it's not enough for the 10 defensive contributions. He only had 7. He need 10. So no points from defensive contributions for Tarkowski and a yellow card. But that's okay. That happens. So far he's doing very, very well. But Senesi, 12 points from defensive contributions, 6 from 6, is doing amazing. Now Virgil van Dijk had 2 points. He had enough defensive contributions to 2 points, but he had a yellow card. He conceded 2 goals. At the end he only got me 2 points, but also Van Dijk, I get him in with my wildcard, is a long-term pick of course. And I think he will do well long-term. He gives you some clean sheets. He's doing very well with defensive contributions, so I don't think they can go wrong with Virgil van Dijk. But it was a very difficult week for defenders and the goalkeepers. I get 12 points from 4 players. It's not too bad. It could have been a lot worse. I think Senesi saved me a little bit. In midfield, I used my wildcard and I get Jeremy Doku into my team. And Jeremy Doku started the match, played the whole match. He had 2 assists. 2 bonus points, 10 points. Was a brilliant player. He was man of the match. I got only 2 bonus points, but I think he was very, very good. 10 points. But he starts every match now because Mamouche is still injured and he's playing very, very well now. He has 4 assists now in 3 matches. He started 3 matches and he had 4 assists in those 3 matches. So 10 points. That is very, very good. Now Kudus was a bit disappointing. I think Tottenham Hotspur played only 1-1 against Wolverhampton. No goal or assist from Mohamed Kudus, but he played again 90 minutes. He plays every minute so far. So that's good, but only 2 points. No goal and no assist. So far he didn't score yet. Phil Foden played a good match against Burnley, but for some reason he didn't score. He didn't have an assist. He was involved in 3 goals. But for some reason he didn't have a goal or an assist and a yellow card. 1 point, but Foden is getting better and better. I think he's getting back to his top form. He's playing very, very well now. And I think it's good to have him into my team now, because he will make the goals and assists sooner or later. Now Semenyo again made a goal. Difficult match for Bournemouth against Leeds. But Semenyo made a goal. And he had, in total he got 7 points, so I was happy with that. He scored from a free kick, so Semenyo now is on free kicks and also on penalties now for some reason, so every reason to get him into your team. 7 points. but the midfield gave me 20 points now, which is quite good. I was happy with that. I have also had Foden into my team with my wildcard and also Kudus. I used my wildcard. I had Palmer out, he was injured. Palmer didn't perform. I have Gakpo out from Liverpool because Gakpo will be rotated with Florian Wirtz. There's no point in keeping Cody Gakpo or Florian Wirtz because they will be rotated too much. Like all those players who you see now in the screen played every minute. They played all 90 minutes. And also for the forwards. And then we go to the forwards now. And luckily I had Haaland as my captain. And what a relief that was. I used my wildcard in the right time. Haaland 2 goals and an assist. Man of the match 16 points. Captain 32 points. And I changed Salah to Haaland. And Salah only had 2 points. And Haaland 16 points. So a difference of 14 points. Which is 28 for captaincy. Just in the right time. I was happy with that. I couldn't use the triple captaincy because I used my wildcard. But I will save my triple captaincy for later into the season. But Haaland did everything what you might expect. He scored 2 goals in extra time, but that's okay. It doesn't matter, they all count. I was happy with that. And he played 90 minutes. Same goes for Pedro, but Chelsea was suffering against Brighton. They played again, they get a red card. And the same happened against Manchester United. Again they get a red card. Chelsea played with 1 man less. And Palmer didn't start. And if Palmer doesn't start, then for some reason Pedro doesn't really get involved into the match as he would like. He really misses a goal, Palmer. So that's a bit of a problem. But Palmer will be back after the international break. So there's no reason to get Pedro out of my team. Because when Palmer gets back, Pedro will get more involved into the match, will make more goals, for sure. Now, Goalkeepers had 2 points, a very difficult match for Goalkeepers against Newcastle United away. But the fixtures of Arsenal will get better from game week 7 on. West Ham United at home. And then I will check, then they have Fulham, I think they get against Burnley, they play against Sunderland. I think the fixtures will get a little bit easier after game week from now on. So there's no point in having Goalkeepers out of my team because I put them in with my wildcard. The same goes for Haaland. I made a lot of substitutions with my wildcard and I think Haaland did well and Doku did very well, so I was not unhappy with that. Now then we look at my bench. On the bench there was Dubravka, only get 1 point, difficult match against Manchester City. King from Fulham, only 1 point. He was on the bench. Richards gave me 4 points, 2 points from defensive contributions. And Mukiele, he was from Sunderland. He was one of the few defenders who had a clean sheet. Mukiele from Sunderland, 6 points. But he was on the bench. But that's okay, at least I have a very good defender on the bench. Now in total I had 68 points. I had a very good week, 68 points. I think it's 22 points above average. The average number of points was 46. So 22 points above average. The ranking now is within the 700,000, within the 1 million, even within the 700,000. So I had a very good game week. The wildcard worked very, very, very well. And I still now have 2 transfers left. Because if you use the wildcard, you keep the number of transfers before you use the wildcard. So I will still have 2 transfers now for game week 7. I don't think there's any need to do a transfer, because if I look at my 15 players, all players played the full 90 minutes, except King from Fulham. King from Fulham played, I think, roughly 60 minutes, but he's on my bench, so... But apart from that, every player started the match and played 90 minutes, which is extremely important, so there's no need, I think, in doing a transfer. I will keep an eye on a few players who are on my watch list, and the 2 players obviously are Saka and Eze. At this moment the situation with Arsenal is quite unclear. I think, is Saka going to start, or Eze, or Odegaard? Because Odegaard normally starts as a number 10, but then Eze, where is he going to start? As a left winger? Or does he only play now as a number 10, as a backup from Odegaard? Is Saka going to start? Normally he will, but is it the same Saka as we know from the seasons before? Is Saka back at top level? He had a lot of injuries. I'm not sure if Saka is back at that level yet. I don't think he is, and I think he needs a lot of time to get back to his normal best. So that's a little bit of question marks around Arsenal. So I think I stick to Raya, the goalkeeper, and Gyökeres, the centre forward. But I'm not sure if Eze will play the 90 minutes and Saka. So at this point, I stick with two Gyökeres. But I haven't planned one transfer yet for game week 7. So that was the end of the video. I did a review of game week 6. I had a very good game week, 22 points above average.